Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Well, it is currently 5:29 p.m. on Sunday, August 7th. I'm sitting outside having a little bit of my coffee from Cafe Patachou. See, Cafe Patachou. This is where we went to brunch today. And I actually had something different today. I had, Alex did not have his soup. All these people talking as they walk down the street. How rude, don't they know I'm filming a video? Alex did not have his soup because he said he didn't want to be super full today. But I think really the reason was because he was going to his mom's later and he knew that she was going to cook, and so he was going to eat there as well. I think that's the real deal, honestly. So anyway, they were going over there because he had purchased, I think it was at Christmas time, he bought her the 23andMe, and he also bought it for his grandma. He has the Ancestry one, so they were gonna like do that together, the three of them today. And then he's gonna actually buy the 23andMe so that he can link up with them, because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but like they're not connected. So like if you do the 23andMe, like your family has to do the 23andMe, and if you do the Ancestry one, like your family has to do that. Like that's how you connect through that. So he's gonna he'll end up doing both of them. And I actually thought, well, maybe I'll end up doing both of them too. Then I can do the Ancestry one, and because maybe I have family out there that didn't do 23andMe, that did Ancestry. So anyway, but he ended up not having the tomato soup today. He got a cup of coffee, and then he, I think he just got like the regular coffee. I got actually flavored coffee. The flavor was Frangelica. And I got it with one Splenda. And then he got the Cuban with scrambled eggs. I got an omelet that I used to get. This is the omelet that I used to get like 2 years ago or something. And that is the California Dreamer. And it's like cheddar cheese and jalapenos and avocado. It's real kind of like a lightweight omelet. And then I added Gouda. And the Gouda kind of just like brings, I was like telling Alex, he was laughing at me at brunch, because I was like, it kind of tightens it up. It like brings it all together, makes it like a solid omelet. It was so delicious, you guys. I forgot how much I missed this California Dreamer. The jalapenos are fantastic. It's kind of like a summery omelet. And then I got potatoes on the side, and then I got a bagel, an everything bagel toasted with cream cheese. And I ate my entire omelet, and I ate all of my potatoes, and then I also got a small orange juice, which I drank all of, and then my coffee, water, and then I only ate 1/2 of my bagel. So that was that. And then afterwards, Alex took me to run a couple errands or some things I needed to go do. I needed to get re-wetting drops. So we went to Walgreens, and I got toothpaste and re-wetting drops. And yeah, and just kind of ran a couple other errands. And then mailed some stuff that I had to mail. My neighbor's slamming doors over there. And then he came home, and then he dropped me off, and he came inside and got his 23andMe thing. So they're doing that, and while they're doing that, I am filming my vlog, and then he said he's only going to be out there for like an hour or something, so I'll let him spend a little bit of time with his mom. So that is that, and then we don't have really anything planned for tonight. We might just like watch some TV or something. We have marriage counseling tomorrow night, and then we'll probably get dinner or something after that. Last night, when I got done vlogging and I got done with all of my videos and everything, it was like 6:20, and I asked Alex, I said, it was a little bit after 6:20, and I said, would you want to go see a movie? I said, I really want to see Nope. I wanted to see Nope, he wanted to see Thor, and so he was like, yeah, sure, babe. And I was like, okay, do you want to go, because I looked it up, and I was like, do you want to go to the 7:30 movie, or do you want to go to the 10:30 movie? And he goes, let's go to the 7:30 movie, and I was like, okay. So I got online, and I bought the tickets for the 7:30 show, and then I took a shower and got ready, and yeah, we went and saw Nope last night, the new Jordan Peele movie. It was great. I really, really liked it. I love all of Jordan Peele's movies. It's interesting because people are saying that it's really slow, But I kind of feel like the pacing is part of Jordan Peele's, I feel like it's part of his style of what he does. Like, he paces movies slowly. I honestly didn't think that it was super slow, though. Like, I mean, House of Gucci was slow. Like, I mean, it felt like, I was like, are we ready to go? Like, I'm ready for this movie to be over. It was really, really slow. This wasn't like that. Like, by the point that you could kind of tell that it was at the climax where the end was about to happen, like, it didn't feel like it took forever. I didn't feel like it took forever to get there. The build-up and kind of the foundation story, like, yes, that took a while to kind of build in the movie. And I don't want to ruin it for anybody in case anybody's going to see it, but I will tell you what it really reminded me of was, and Alex was like, oh, I didn't get that at all, which I thought was interesting. I felt like it was Jordan Peele paying homage to Steven Spielberg with Jaws and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That the area, a lot of the area that it took place in kind of reminded me of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And then, if Jaws were an alien, that's Nope. And there's like 3 of them that are out there trying to kind of like attack this thing. And it's interesting because, you know, based on the trailers and everything, like, I feel like when you see like alien movies, like, I love alien movies, but they don't really ever show like the aliens, you know. It's like with the movie Signs, I loved that movie, but it's like, I just saw a meme the other day and it was something about somebody like, when the alien walks by the doorway and they show it on the news and Joaquin Phoenix like freaks out. Like, that scene like really was scary to me in that movie. I did not think they would really like show like the UFOs and stuff like that, but they do. They really do in this movie, and kind of right away. So anyway, I thought it was really well done. I thought everybody that was in it was phenomenal. Yeah, it was really good. I really, really liked it. So I would give it, I don't know that I would give it 5 stars. I'd probably give it like a solid, like, a solid 4.3 stars or something like that. I mean, I didn't leave there and I wasn't like, oh my god, this is the best movie I've ever seen. I think out of the 3 movies of his that I have seen, which is Us, Get Out, and Nope, I would say, I don't know, they're so completely different. There are like bugs all around my face. You guys, it is 91 degrees outside. Well, it was when I pulled up. Alex's car said 91 degrees. It is 91 degrees and it is extremely humid outside today, and there were like bugs all over me, and I'm getting like bit by mosquitoes. I'm pulling up the weather, so let's see. Oh, it's 92 degrees outside, partly cloudy, feels like 102. It is so hot outside. And oh, tomorrow it's supposed to be 88, but then it says isolated thunderstorms in the morning, but then it shows sunshine. I don't know. Today would have been another good day to go to the pool. I have a feeling Tanya might have gone to the pool because she called me when I was at brunch and I didn't answer the phone because we were sitting there talking. And we don't typically like text and answer phone calls and stuff like that while we're out to dinner together. So I was going to wait. When I got home, I called her back and she didn't answer. So I have a feeling she may have been asking if we wanted to go to the pool with her today. So anyway, yeah, so we saw that movie last night and then we came home. And what did we do when we got home? I can't even really remember. Alex watched... Oh, before we left, he was watching Dynasty. Like, he watches the reboot of Dynasty. So he was watching Dynasty, and before we left, he had made like 2... My husband is like obsessed with frozen burritos. He loves frozen burritos. And, well, actually, these burritos that he got them at Fresh Time, and he kept them in the refrigerator. So he had made like... Because I said, I might be really hungry when we get back from the movie theater, but... I got a tub of popcorn. We each got a tub yesterday and a large soda. and I was not hungry. I mean, and I ate almost every bit of that popcorn. It was so good. And we had like perfect seats too, because we go to the movie theater where they have like the reclining seats, which I love so much. And I had got them and they were like a little off center. And when we got there, there were these two girls that were together and they were sitting in our seats. And Alex was like, I think you're sitting in our seats. And they were like, oh, I'm sorry, do you want us to move? And I was like, we can sit here if you want us to sit here. And they're like, yeah, just sit there. So we were like front and center, like on the first aisle up, you know. It kind of reminded me of back in the day. I remember my very first ex-boyfriend, he wanted to go see Titanic, like he was obsessed with Leonardo DiCaprio. So we had to see Titanic like the night that it opened, and I remember we got there like really late, and the only seats that were left, like they oversold the theater, the only seats that were left in the whole movie theater were on the floor in front of the first row. And I remember we literally sat and like the boat like went by and we like watched it go by like this. It was like so ridiculous. We had to see it. I think that he probably has seen that movie in his life like 55 times or something. He loves Leonardo DiCaprio. I like that movie too, but I don't need to see it that many times, you know. I actually just saw this video come up on YouTube because I watch like a lot of conspiracy stuff about like sunken ships and things like that, and that Ask a Mortician, I love her channel. And I saw this video come up. I was gonna watch it, and it was like, you know how like you can save videos on YouTube? I never do that, I just screenshot them. But it was called something like How the Titanic Really Broke Up, Not According to Movies, or something like that. So I was gonna watch that. It was like a 10-minute movie. But anyway, so when we came home, Alex watched the rest of Dynasty, and I wasn't hungry at all for anything. And I talked to Tanya for like a long time, for like 45 minutes or an hour. And then by the time I went inside, Alex was inside. It was so humid out here too last night. Alex was upstairs and he was like looking at TikToks in bed and stuff like that with Boo Radley. I mean, Boo Radley wasn't looking at him, but... And so I was like, I'm going to lay down for just a little bit. It was like 11 o'clock. And so I lay down till like 12:30, and then I got up and I watched Canada's Drag Race. Oh, then I was hungry. I woke up and I was hungry, and we had like nothing to eat in this house. So guess what I made? A Totino's pizza. One of those square party pizzas. I love those. Those are like the best frozen pizzas in the entire world. Alex had a DiGiorno's pizza in there. Oh, my sponsor's calling me. Let me talk to her and then I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I am like literally sweating bullets through this shirt, you guys. It is so hot out here. I'm like, oh my god, it's so hot. And usually, like if I'm not filming a video out here or whatever, like I just sit without my hat. But like my hair looks so bad. I actually did my hair for the movie last night. But my hair looks so bad without the hat today that I'm like, I have to wear this hat. So, like, I need to get a fan and put it on up here. Okay, so, oh, speaking of which, I don't know what I was talking about before I got off here. My sponsor and I, we just talked for a couple minutes. She was going to the state fair to see I go to the state fair for the food. The lemon shake-ups, the elephant ears, and the, oh, don't do this to me again. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, God. Why can I never remember what that thing is called that's like an elephant ear? Okay, it's, oh, shoot. God, this is going to drive me crazy. But anyway, I go for the I'm gonna have to like look through and see, because I put it as like the top comment or like in the description box. What was that called? Fair food. Here, we're gonna look it up. Fair food. Food. What are typical fair foods? Funnel cakes. Funnel cakes. Here's the, okay. 25 state fair foods will miss the most this year. This was because they didn't have the state fair because of the lockdown. Corn dogs, cotton candy. I love cotton candy so much. Corn dogs, cotton candy, soft caramels, fudge, Now, they always have fudge at the fair, and I love peanut butter fudge. And a saltwater taffy is another thing. My mom always had to have saltwater taffy. Funnel cakes, candied apples, boiled peanuts, cheese on a stick. Now, that's a big one. Melissa loves that, cheese on a stick. Hold on a second. Let's see. The corn dogs, cotton candy, soft caramels, funnel cake. So if you don't know what a funnel cake is, this is what a funnel cake looks like. So it's basically just like this this doughy mass with like powdered sugar on top of it. And then you can get like apples and stuff like that. Classic toppings include powdered sugar or fruit, but a more modern spin on the fair food includes pulled pork or ice cream toppings. Pulled pork on there? No thank you. On a funnel cake? Gross. I mean, I'm a vegetarian anyway. But boiled peanuts, okay. Hold on a second. Funnel cakes, candied apples. Do you guys love candied apples at Halloween time? Boiled peanuts, cheese on a stick. Look at the cheese on a stick. The picture isn't even cheese on a stick. It's just mozzarella sticks. How lame. Okay. Strawberry shortcake, cheese curd. So like Wisconsin, here it is. That's right here. Wisconsin savory snack. So Wisconsin cheese curds are like another one of like, Melissa loves any of the cheese stuff. Whoopie pies. This is what a whoopie pie looks like. I don't know that those are necessarily what I consider state fair. Fried corn, that definitely is. Poutine, classic Canadian dish, but I don't know that I've ever seen poutine at the fair. Fried bread tacos. I don't know anything about that. Blooming onion, that's a big one. Deep fried butter. Deep fried really anything. Deep fried Twinkies. Deep fried this. Deep fried that. Fried Oreos. Fried pickles. Caramel corn, elephant ear. So this is what an elephant ear looks like. It just looks like imagine an elephant, like an actual elephant ear, but made out of dough. And that's what it is. Elephant ears and funnel cakes are often found at the same spots at the state fair, but they are completely different treats. In fact, elephant ears are more like fried bread than funnel cakes. Elephant ears start out as a piece of flat dough that's tossed in the fryer. Once the dough is browned and slightly puffy, it's tossed in cinnamon sugar and served up piping hot. This fun fair food can also be topped with ice cream or honey for a fun spin on a classic treat. A Frito pie. So a Frito pie is kind of like a walking taco. You see a lot of those. You might know this snack as a firefly pie, nachos in a bag, or walking tacos, but whatever you name you call it, it's downright delicious. Okay, deep fried candy bars. There's tons of those everywhere. Italian sausage, onions, and peppers. Those are a big deal. Curly fries, big deal. Deep fried burgers. Chocolate covered bacon. Oh, I never heard of that. I can't believe that they don't have on here lemon shake-ups. Here, I'm going to look it up. What is a lemon shake-up? Because it's different than lemonade. I'm going to look it up, and they're going to say it's lemonade, basically lemonade. What is a lemon shake-up, and why is it so darn good? Okay. Oh, this is so funny. I knew very little about Indiana as a state, and the Midwest for that matter, before my trip last September. As someone who grew up in the suburb east of Atlanta, I assume states like Indiana are filled with desolate rural towns and liberal tumbleweeds. Well, that is true. The time I spent in Indiana exploring a cluster of towns outside of the city of Indianapolis showed me a different slice of life and a different type of drink known as the lemon shake-up. State fairs and street festivals are a huge part of Midwestern culture. That's true. And if you happen to be in... So, like, most of the counties, like, I live in Marion County, is Indianapolis. Hamilton County is where I grew up. Jackson County is where my ex is from. Like, every county, there's, you know... Okay. So, like, then there's the county seat, which is, like, the main city in that county. And every county has, well, I think, I don't want to make a generalization that I don't know, but most counties have a fair every summer. And it's usually earlier in the year. And then the state fair, and so then, like, they'll have, like, the fair queen, or the county fair queen from each of those counties. And then they go to the state fair for the state fair queen. And then, like, they also, like, people will take things, like, to 4-H, show animals, you know, all that kind of stuff, bake pies, whatever, to the county fairs. And then whoever wins at the county fair gets to go to the state fair, if that makes sense. Okay. It's kind of like a prelim for a pageant. So the county fairs are usually earlier in the summer, and then the state fair is always like, it used to be like the last 2 weeks of August, but now because school starts so early, they have it like the last week of July going into the first week of August, and it lasts 2 weeks, I think. So fairs are a big part of Indiana. State fairs and street festivals are a huge part of Midwestern culture. And if you happen to be in Indiana when there's any bit of sunshine and warmth, expect locals to take to the streets, eating deep-fried elephant ears and Oreos, purchasing handmade arts from local artisans, and drinking one lemon shake-up after another. They are so good. But what is this ubiquitous drink that you'd be hard-pressed to know or hear anything about outside of the Midwest? I tasted one myself, and it reminded me of lemonade, but better than any other lemonade I could have had elsewhere. It has a distinct zing to it. Okay, so then this person that owns this Uric Concessions has sold lemon shake-ups for past 2 decades at major events and festivals throughout Indiana. She said, I'm from Connecticut, and they were not a thing back east, she said. As a lemonade lover, I needed to see what all the fuss was about. My first trip to the Indiana State Fair was the first time that I had a lemon shake-up. She wouldn't elaborate on her specific recipe. She insisted it was exclusive company secret, but she did share about her general process for making them. A traditional shake-up consists of fresh squeezed lemon, granulated sugar, and water, she said. Once ingredients are combined, you shake it like crazy to blend all the flavors, dissolve the sugar, and put a really good chill on the drink. Adding ice into the mixture before shaking is crucial. The bits of ice add frost to the drink without watering down the flavor. More or less, sugar can be added as well, depending on the preference of who makes them. It's so good. History is scant on the origins of lemon shake. What is this blog? I like this blog. It's called What is a Lemon Shake-Up and Why is it so darn good? It's More Than Lemonade by Nika Okana. This is from 2019. Isn't it so funny the things you can find? This is from USA Today, 10 Best. I just love Googling things and reading about things online. So anyway, my sponsor is going with some friends tonight, and she is going, so the state fair always has like concerts every year, like country music concerts, and then they have like classic rock concerts and stuff like that, and there's the Coliseum that is at the state fair, and tonight is Pat Benatar, and so she has tickets, and she's going with a couple of her friends to go see Pat Benatar tonight, so she's real excited about that. I love Pat Benatar. Fair is fair, Legend of Billie Jean. We are young, heartache to heartache we stand. No promises or demands. Love is a battlefield. Nobody asked me if I wanted to go to Pat Benatar. No, actually, she just said, she goes, do you guys want to come and meet us? I was like, no. I said, Alex is at his mom's house, and it's too hot for the fair today for me. She's like, it is really hot for the fair. Plus, I don't love to go to concerts at the fair. I like to walk around and see the animals and get food, and I like to ride the train thing that goes all the way around. My mom and I used to do that. And I definitely don't like to go to the fair when it's like still light outside. Like, I don't even like to go until it's after dark because it's so hot. And there's so many people there. And Sunday night is probably not a great night to go to the fair. Like, it would be better to go on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday night. I might ask Alex if he wants to go down there like one of the nights this week. But you know what? Like, every year I always feel like I kind of want to go to the fair, and then like it gets to be like the week of the fair, and I'm just kind of like, do you ever feel like that about stuff? Like, there's so much more effort than it takes, you know? But anyway. So, I'm more of like, let's get some movie tickets and be back in 2 hours. We stopped at the gas station and got candy. I got M&Ms and some other stuff, and that was good, and it was fun. Oh my god, my popcorn was like perfectly salted and buttered. Don't you love that? Like when your popcorn is just like perfection. It was like perfection. So anyway, so that's that. This week I'm just gonna kind of lay low, clean the house some, and I don't know what else. Make videos every day and just kind of relax, I think. Next weekend we're going to Chicago, but we're only going for Saturday night. Which is exciting because it's like the first place I've been in a long time. We're like in this group text with this couple that we're going up there with. I think we're driving up there with them. And they're really sweet. They actually started dating the same summer like that we started dating. And like we were all like hung out in this big group together and would go out like a lot to different bars and stuff. And I feel like we met them separately. But they started dating around the same time. And they've been together ever since. And they have 2 boys, and they're just really, really nice. And she is, well, they're both closer to Alex's age, but they're a little bit older. They're like 5 years older than Alex. So anyway, we go out to dinner with them usually about once every month, and they live real close to us. So that'll be fun. And yeah, my neighbor, I can hear him across the street, like getting the grill out. He must be getting ready to cook or something, although it's kind of late for him to be grilling out. I was going to ask how their dinner with their neighbor went last night. Now I have that Pat Benatar song in my head. I guess there's worse songs that could be stuck in your head, right? Tanya told me about this book. She said she's reading this book that she absolutely cannot put down. And it was so funny because I had already looked it up on Audible, and it was like this new one that had just come out. And since I'm not reading or listening to anything, I'm not going to buy it yet. And I have, I'm out of credits right now. And I'm not going to buy more credits just to buy this book. So it's on my wish list, but it's called Wrong Time, Wrong Place. And it's about this mother in the UK, and I have not read this book, so I'm not spoiling it. I'm telling you what I read based on the synopsis, okay? And she's looking out her window, and like her son is like 17 or 18, and he's like, well, here, I can read it to you. It sounds really good. And he is like a good boy, and like she witnesses him stabbing somebody. Here it is. I have it pulled up. Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister. It just came out. It came out the 2nd of August. From UK best-selling author Gillian McAllister comes an astonishing, compulsively twisty psychological thriller about a mother who witnesses her teenage son stab a man and then seizes on an unconventional way to try to save him, deemed Perfection, Every Word, Every Moment by Lisa Jewell. Can you stop a murder after it's already happened? Late October, after midnight, you're waiting up for your 17-year-old son. He's late. As you watch from the window, he emerges and you realize he isn't alone. He's walking toward a man and he's armed. You can't believe it when you see him do it. Your funny, happy teenage son, he kills a stranger right there on the street outside your house. You don't know who. You don't know why. You only know your son is now in custody. His future shattered. That night you fall asleep in despair. All is lost until you wake, and it's yesterday. And then you wake again, and it is the day before yesterday. Every morning you wake up a day earlier, another day before the murder, with another chance to stop it. Oh, I didn't read all this way. I only read halfway down. I didn't read all this way. Just with another chance to stop it. Somewhere in the past lies an answer, the trigger for this crime, and you don't have a choice but to find it. Okay, Tanya said, she was like, Peter, you're going to love this book. She's like, this book is so good. I was like, okay. So, I need to start listening to Audible. There's my neighbor, she's walking her dog. I need to start listening to my audibles and reading my books and stuff. I keep on saying that, and then I don't. I think because I'm like so into like watching the TV shows right now. Did I say that I finished Flowers in the Attic last night? So I finished Flowers in the Attic last night. I watched the latest episode of Canada's Drag Race, and then I finished Flowers in the Attic. It was really good. I really, really liked it. And then I started watching on Netflix DB Coop. Well, RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under I put on my list of TV shows I'm watching, but I haven't started watching it yet. But like the first 2 episodes are out, I think. And then on Wow Presents, and then I started watching DB Cooper, Where Are You? Which is like a true crime documentary, 4 parts, I think, on Netflix, and it's about DB Cooper. Do you guys know who DB Cooper is? He's the guy that like demanded like $200,000 and hijacked a plane, and then like jumped out of the plane, and nobody's ever seen him since, and it happened in like 1971. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's like this crazy story. Well, this guy and his wife like investigated it, and they think they know who this. They think they have the guy that is supposedly DB Cooper. I don't know, but anyway. So I started watching that last night. I watched about 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer than that, and then I was like, I need to go to bed. I did put the ice bars and water and ice cubes in our air conditioner, like our portable air conditioner last night. I don't know that I think it's really working. Somebody commented on the vlog, and they said that they had worked really, really hard at trying to like master a cooler upstairs, and that the only thing that they got that worked was like where you have like the tube that goes out the window. And Tanya said the same thing because she has one of those in her bedroom. But like I don't know how well that would work with our setup. I have a couch right in front of the window, and I just don't know that like. So anyway, and plus summer's almost over at this point. It does, I will say, it does cool it down a little bit. A little bit cooler than the fan, but not much. Like when I walked upstairs last night, I was like, oh, it's a little cooler in the room than it was earlier, so. So yeah, there's that. I saw that Heartstopper, the next season of it is coming out on Netflix in 2023. I saw that today. I filmed 2 drama videos yesterday, but by the time the second one was like done and uploaded, it was so late that I was like, I'm not going to. I was like, I'm not going to post it today, so I posted. Yesterday. I said I wasn't going to post it today, so I posted it this afternoon. Let's read a few comments. HM Shack said, hopefully a great night will be in your future this coming week for the most amazing night swim ever. Special drink and snack. The best nap and snuggle. Aww. Snuggle time with Alex and your little man, Boo. I love that. Thank you. Prissy Kitty said, love your vlogs, love your drama channel, love your Peter Does stuff, love your Peter review stuff. I have to watch every one of them. I can watch them every day. You're so sweet. Thank you. Renee said, thanks for your vlog, Peter. Enjoy listening to you every day. You are such a sweetie. Luella said, I learned wasp nests in the ground because I stepped on the nest barefoot. It was excruciating pain. You need to get rid of that nest. I don't know how to get rid of it, though. Somebody told me to pour dish soap down the nest, so I might do that. My neighbor across the street, she told me to get some like wasp spray and spray it at both entrances. I think there's 2 entrances to the nest. Team Clark said, I watch all the videos, but sometimes I just watch them a few days behind. Recently, I save the Peterisms videos for when I really need them. I could listen or watch one of those every day. Peterisms and the vlog are my top 2. Aww. Savannah said, I watch 100% of the drama videos, probably 80% of all the vlogs, and probably 60% of the review videos. I love listening on my way to work, bored at work, and while I'm cooking. Aw, you guys are so sweet. KA said, totally off topic. I just finished my anti-bullying compliance training before watching your video. One of the first lines is about kids skipping school because they don't know what to expect each day. Made me think of you. We are always on the lookout. You know, it really is true, though. It's like, we force kids to go to a place that they don't feel safe and they don't want to go. And then we wonder why they don't want to be there, you know? And we wonder why they're not doing well in school. You know, it's hard to focus on. I think that was like, for me, I'm like, do I really want to get into a long conversation about this? Very serious conversation. You know, I think for me, that was like, okay, so I didn't want to be in school, right? And this is not like a woe is me kind of thing whatsoever. You know, like I do talk about how like my mom did her best and put a meal on the table every night, and I think sometimes I paint this picture that like my mom was just like this horrific drunk like all the time, and that's just not the case. There just were moments that really stood out or scared me, and a lot of those were when I wasn't even with her. It would be when I was with my dad and I would call home, you know, and she would be drunk or whatever. But I didn't necessarily always feel, I wouldn't say that I didn't feel safe at home, because it wasn't like I was afraid of my mom. Like, she wasn't like a violent drunk or anything like that. I just never knew what I was walking into, you know? It would be like once every 3 weeks, I would walk into, my mom and her friend had been sitting there all afternoon, and then my mom's friend would leave, and my mom would be drunk, and that would be my evening. So there was that, but then I would go to school, and, you know, from kindergarten, first grade on, you know, there was always somebody in every one of my classes that just was ruthless to me. And it's really hard to focus on education and all of that and doing your best in class and the teacher calling on you and whatever when you don't want to go to the board because you are going to be made fun of or whatever. And so you're like focusing on safety while you're trying to focus on education at the same time, okay? And then they wonder why you're not doing well and why you're not doing well in classes. And they say things like, oh, well, with standardized testing, you do very, very well, you know, because like we would take like, I don't know what they're called anymore, but back when I was in school, they were called like the ICATA test. No, not ICATA. That's for drug and alcohol stuff. They were called the ICAT testing or whatever, you know, and, it was, what do you call it? Like standardized state testing. Well, I would always, you know, like not necessarily with math, but with like English and social studies and comprehension and things like that. I always did really, really well. And so, you know, teachers were always very confused as to why I didn't. Hey. Okay. I've never seen her in this neighborhood before. Not very friendly either. And so I said, hey, and she just kept on looking at me while she was walking. But anyway, you know, teachers would like, I'd have to have these meetings with my mom and dad and my teacher, and they'd be like, his focus is horrible in class, you know? And this wasn't an era where we talked about bullying. And I looking back, I have to believe that, you know, I was an effeminate enough kid, and there's no way that teachers didn't know that I wasn't being picked on to some degree. I witnessed teachers witnessing it and not doing anything about it. So, therefore, the last thing on my mind was my education, getting good grades, whatever. I didn't care. And when I was home, the last thing I wanted to think about was school. So I almost never did my homework. And so I got horrific grades. I always got bad grades, right? You know, and it was really not, and then when I was in college, my first couple years in college, I just was drinking and drinking and drinking. Like, you know, I moved out, and then it was like I had all this freedom, and my life was just, it was like I was off to the races. And so it was really not until I got sober and I started learning in a completely different way, and I realized that the way that I learn, okay, is not by taking 1,000 notes, but is audibly learning, that I can sit there like this in a class and I can listen for an hour and I can retain everything that I learned or heard. I mean, literally. And, you know, when I got into graduate school, and did extremely well in graduate school and never took a note and just sat there and just listened and participated in class and showed up. Showing up to class was a big part of it for me, showing up to every single class. And, you know, that was a big part. And I can remember like this finite math class. I've talked about this on here before, but I took this finite math class. This was before I went to graduate school. I had to take this finite math class to graduate. I had like dropped out of it once and failed it once or whatever. And I had to take it, and my dad was like, you're going to go to this class, okay? I don't care what grade you get in there, but you're going to show up for every class. And my dad had actually talked to the professor, and this is such a bad story in retrospect, but the professor was a really nice guy, but he was gay, and I knew that, and I had seen him out at like gay bars in Indianapolis and whatever. And so it was in this lecture hall, and, you know, he would sit down there, and I had to go to every extra credit session, and I had to go to every study session and everything. And I remember on the first test, I got like an A- or something on the first test. And I was like, there's no way I got an A- on this. There's no way. Like, I'm stupid when it comes to math. Like, I was so ingrained in believing that I was stupid and that I was not smart. And what, I mean, I so believed that, right? And so, I can remember I went down to his desk, and there were other people that were asking questions about the test and stuff like that. And he was like, and he would like literally, because like my dad had like met with him and whatever, like he would, cause my dad was like, if he misses, I want to know. And, this was after I got out of treatment. So, these were classes that I had to have to graduate. I had like 2 or 3 classes I had to have to graduate, and then I was done. And then I had classes that I had to take to get into graduate school. I'd take like a human biology class, and that was a mess. But anyway, I took an anatomy class for that because all my friends were taking it that were like in nursing school, and they had like this coloring book, and I thought the coloring book looked fun, and so I thought this was going to be an easy class. Anatomy is not an easy class. And I remember the first lab test, I went to the lab, and there was like these boxes of bones. It was a skeletal system, and this girl was like, can you hand me the scapula? And I was like, I just pushed the box to her, and I went over and I withdrew from the class. And I went and I signed up for biology of women, and I got like an A in the class and did really, really well, and it was really interesting class for me. But anyway, so I had attended like everything with this finite math class, and so I went down to this professor, and remember he asked us to call him by like his first name. He was like younger, he was like 25, 30, something like that. And really super nice guy, super nice guy. And like every class, now imagine this, a lecture hall of like 200 people, okay? Like every class he would find me, and I usually sat kind of in the same area, and he would say, Mr. Monn, it's good to see you today. And I'd be like, oh my God. And he'd call me out in class, you know, because he wanted to make sure that I was there. So anyway, be happy that people care. You know, like that's a lesson that I've learned in my life, is that sometimes it's annoying when people care, but be happy that people care, because a lot of people have nobody that cares, you know. And it's gonna stop, hold on. Okay. But be happy that people care, you know what I mean? So anyway, I went down and I got this A- on this test, and I was just like, there's no way. I don't believe that I got an A- on this test, you know? And I really thought, I was like, this is so bad. I've said this on here before, but I really thought that he was like hitting on me kind of. And so he gave me like a good grade, you know? And I mean, now I realize how offensive that statement is, but you know, at the time I was 22 and I didn't really get it, I guess. And I guess I kind of thought my SHI toot didn't stink, you know? And so he was like, is there something that I can help you with? And I was like, no, I'll just wait till they're gone. And he was like, no, you can ask me right now if you need to. There was like several people in front. And he goes, they're just checking their answers with the test, because he had like the test out to check like their answers and stuff. And he goes, and I said, okay, I said, it's about my test grade. And he goes, you did very well. Did you have a problem with it? And I said, come on. And he was like, what? And I said something like, I think you and I both know I didn't get an A-. And he just kind of looked at me and he goes, you can check your grades, right? I mean, he was not happy with me. So that was my first of many amends that I've had to make in my life. And, but he was really a decent guy to me. And, so yeah, really a neat guy. And I actually had him previously for finite math. And I think I ended up getting like a B plus or a, I don't think I got an A minus. I think I ended up getting a B plus in that class. I don't remember. But what I realized by that class was if I just showed up and listened and participated and asked when I didn't understand something, because I think that that's something that we often don't get today in society, no matter what the issue is, whether it's academic or otherwise, that if we don't understand something, it's okay to ask. It's okay to say, educate me on this, please. Like, I don't get this, and you know, I would like to be educated on this so that I do the right thing, or I say the right thing, or that I do the math problem correctly, or whatever, you know? Like, I think life is forever this teaching thing. So that was really the beginning of me learning I'm not as stupid as I thought I was. And I had from a very young age this idea that I'm just stupid. You know, it wasn't that I was connecting the pieces together, that I was scared to be in school. I didn't want to be in school. You know, I had a lot of stress from stuff that was going on at home, and there was all this internal stuff that was going on with me. So for me to sit in a class, you know, and not that there weren't other people that had things going on as well, because I'm sure that there were. I'm just telling my story, you know, that there was, like, that was not a safe refuge for me, ever. And so I didn't study well in that environment. But when I got to college, you know, and I started learning, like, and from that finite math class forward, I think also having a clear mind, being sober, was a huge part of that, you know? And realizing, I like, it almost kind of like this flip had to switch, or the switch had to flip in my mind, where I had to realize, you're smarter than you think you are. And maybe there are some things you're not that great at, like math and science, but that doesn't mean that you can't be educated and learn how to do those things better, right? Like, that you can't learn by studying. And, you know, am I going to ever be a doctor? No. And that's just not an area that I choose to go into. And I don't have that kind of science mind, and I don't find that kind of stuff, it's not interesting to me. But that doesn't mean that I can't get by and stop putting myself down. Like, I think, you know, this is where, like, I feel like I've talked about this a lot in my drama videos this week, about, like, humor that's self-deprecating. I think one of the reasons why I have an issue with self-deprecation as humor is because I did it for so long. You know, I did it, and I'd be like, oh, I'm so grossly fat, and I'm so, you know, like, stupid, and I'm so dumb, and whatever. It's like, and I think I still, there are times that I fall a little bit to that, but I remember getting, like, an email from somebody that watched my vlog, and she said that she really didn't like when I used the word fat in my vlog. It's been a long time since I got this email. But she really didn't like when I used the word fat. And, I mean, it was a really serious email, and she was like, you know, she was like, you're somebody that I look up to, and you inspire me, and you motivate me, and for you to, like, on a daily basis get up in this video and beat yourself up for your weight, she was like, you know, either do something about it or stop putting yourself down. She was like, you know, like, this isn't helpful to you, it's not helpful to anybody else, and you're not inspiring or motivating anybody. And she said, you know, if I know one thing about you, it's that I know that you want to inspire and motivate people, and that is true, you know. Do I think I always do that? No. But, you know, I think there are ways to talk about your weight and your health, and I've learned that without putting yourself down all the time. And so yeah. So there's that. And then, you know, I learned in that finite math class, wow, like, just by showing up, because that was, like, a big part of it for me, right? Like, I didn't show up to things. Like, when I was drinking and using a lot, I never showed up to my college classes, ever. Like, ever. And I've told a story on here about taking that Victorian literature class, and I, like, never showed up there, you know, except for tests or turning in a paper. And I, like, one night stayed up drinking, and I read the book Middlemarch by George Eliot. It's like 1,200 pages, and wrote some ridiculous paper and turned it in went to go turn it in that day. And my professor was like, you can't come into class. And I was like, excuse me? And she was like, this was before I got sober, and she said, I've had a lot of complaints from other students in this class that you either don't show up and don't participate in the discussion, or when you do show up that you smell so much like alcohol that it's distracting to them, so I'm going to ask that you withdraw from this class. And I was so pissed. I was like, F you, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't think I said that to her. But interestingly enough, years later, I was leaving work and going to my office, and I was driving my ex's car, and his window wouldn't roll down because he needed to get it fixed, and I was driving through Starbucks, and so I walked inside. I had to go inside because I couldn't drive through the, anyway. God moment kind of thing, and she was standing in front of me in line, and I remembered her name and everything, and she was like, so she was standing in line, she got her coffee, she turned around, she went back, and then she came back to ask the guy for a pencil because she wanted a pencil to do the crossword, and he was like really rude to her, and I was like, man, just give her a pencil. And so like he gave her a pencil, and she said thank you, and she looked at me, and I said her name, and I was like, I don't know why this always gets me so emotional. She looked exactly the same, and I said to her, Dr. So-and-so, and she said, how do you, she said my name, my first and last name. I said, how do you ever remember me? She said, we rarely forget students, you know, and she's like, you're somebody that I always worried about and always wondered what had happened to. And so we sat there and talked for a moment, and I made amends to her, and which is not the way that you're supposed to do amends. You're supposed to contact your sponsor first and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes when opportunities arise, you know, I always pray on my amends first. And so I said, I want you to know that, you know, like, this is what I'm doing today, and I'm working in the field of addictions, and, you know, I've been sober. I think at the time I'd been sober like 10 or 12 years. And she was like, that's amazing. And she was like, it's so good to hear, because we often don't get to hear what happens to students of ours. And she like put her hands on my shoulders, and she was like, you have a good life. And she like gave me a hug. I think sometimes I forget like how dark of a world I was really living in at that time, you know. I said to her, I said, thank you for doing what nobody else would do. Like, you were one of the only people that would set a limit or a boundary with me, you know, that like, sure, at the time really pissed me off, but like in retrospect, like, it meant a lot to me. She didn't say it in a nasty way. Like, when she said to me, I'm asking you to drop this class, she looked at me and she said, at that time, she said, you really need to get some help. I'm really worried about you. She was one of the only people. You know, I had a friend that I lived with, or that lived with me, and I came home one day and she was moving out. I was like, good riddance. And she was like, I can't be part of this. She's like, you know, you're dying and I can't be part of this. And, she had actually told me, she was like, if you don't get help in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to tell your dad. And that was like literally like a week and a half, 2 weeks before I ended up going into treatment. I think she would have called my dad. Maybe she did, I don't even know, but I don't think she did. God, this vlog was all over today, wasn't it? This vlog was all over today, and it was longer than usual as well. So yeah, I'm not stupid. I'm not. And I can remember like thinking up excuses to not have to go to school, to the point where like my mom, I remember she, like, at one point, like, I must have been, like, in 7th or 8th grade. She didn't necessarily know what was going on. Like, she didn't know why I didn't want to go to school, but she knew that there was she knew there was a reason, because she looked at me, I can remember this, and I said something to her, and she goes, I'm not fighting you on it today. She was like, if you don't want to go to school, don't go to school. And I was just kind of like shocked. Like, I didn't have to like, you know, fake sickness or anything, you know. She just was like not gonna fight it. She just was tired. She was tired of fighting it, you know. Because I mean, any chance I could to not go to school, I would not go to school. Yeah, it's so interesting to me as my nephews get older. You know, and I look at them and I think, like, especially like Carlitos is like the age that, like, I was really horrifically bullied. And it's weird, you know, it's like, to think of myself at that age and how I grew into who I am today and how that had effect on me. And you know, and I don't really know what the answer would have been. Like, I don't. Like, I've really asked myself this a lot. I mean, like, I think the bully and the bullied both need to have help. I really do, because I think the person that's being the bully is doing it for certain reasons as well. I think, you know, their home life might not be that great, or they're wanting attention when they come. I don't know, you know? I mean, I don't just think it's as simple as suspend them and let's put some boundaries. I just don't think it's as simple as that, you know? And I've really tried to look at it objectively. And I'm a big believer in love and approaching, you know, all of it from a loving point of view and really understanding. I don't know that, like, I mean, I saw a lot of counselors when I was growing up, and they never really, any of them helped me, to be quite honest. I mean, they never really helped me at all. And I can remember this one woman that I saw when I was in high school. I know she was super expensive because I can remember taking the check to her and how much the check was, like $200 or something. And that was like in 1988, 89, right? And I remember, like, my dad would pick, it must have been before I drove, so that would have been before I was 16. And my dad would pick me up from her office. And I remember she had, like, a really weird waiting area. Like, you went into, like, this one door and you waited in this really small room that had, like, a chair and, like, just a little table with, like, magazines. And then you went in one door and, like you went in, like, one door, but, like, there was, like, two doors in that office or in that waiting area. And, like, one door was where the other person came out and left. And then the other door was, like, how you went into the office or something. It was, like, made it, like, real secretive, you know? But anyway, I remember, we never, like, talked about anything. Like, literally never talked about anything. She was real nice, but she was, like, really into archaeology, and so we would talk about archaeology and stuff like that. And I remember I must have seen her, I don't know. I don't think I saw her very often, or for that long. I honestly don't even remember how long, but at one point, I remember she looked at me and she goes, okay, she goes, that's the end of our session. And then she goes, I think next week we'll address sexuality issues. And I was out of there. And I got in my dad's car and I said, she's a waste of money. I don't need to go to her anymore. And he goes, well, what's wrong? And I said, all she ever does is talk about archaeology and stuff. So anyway, my dad, years later, when I came out to him, I told him, we were just talking one day and I was telling him about that story. He goes, I always knew that I should have followed up with her. There was something that you didn't want to talk about. Well, that was it. You know, and in retrospect, I sometimes wonder, I mean, it was a different era, but I kind of wonder, like, had I stepped into that and been like, okay, let's talk about it, you know? Let's talk about my fear of coming out. Let's talk about my fear of that all of these people saying that I'm gay, that it's right, you know? Let's talk about my fear of never really thinking that I can live in a world where people will accept me for that, you know? Like, what would have happened if I had done that? I think my friends in high school would have accepted me fully. I'm almost positive they would have, you know? They were all hippie-minded girls anyway. They didn't care. Punk rock, hippie-minded girls, they wouldn't have cared if I was gay. And in retrospect, half of them said that they all knew anyway, you know? So, I don't know what it would have made my life look like. Different somehow. Maybe better, maybe worse, who knows, you know? There was a huge part of my life that I lived, I wouldn't necessarily say, like, in regret. Although I'm not somebody that says I don't have any regrets. Like, I do have regrets in my life. But I'm not somebody... But there was a period of my life that I lived looking at my past and being like, I wish I had done this, or I wish I had done that, or what if I had done this, or what if I had done that, right? And, you know, and I think it's rather pointless. It really is. It's you know, like, for better or for worse, life's gonna kind of turn out the way that it's supposed to some degree. I think. I don't know. You know, I can't make sense of it. I don't know. It's like that, I just posted this actually on my Twitter. Joni Mitchell was singing Both Sides Now at the Newport Folk Festival. And I love that song so much. And what I love are the lyrics at the very end about life. And it says, tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds. I've looked at life that way. But now old friends, they're acting strange. They shake their heads. They tell me that I've changed. Well, something's long lost, but something's gained in living every day. And, you know, I think I can remember, like, when I was a little kid, my parents listening to that song. Like, that's, like, one of my very first memories ever. And they listened to the Judy Collins version. They love that. I actually like the Joni Mitchell version better now. It's, like, haunting. And, I think that's it. I think you just do the best you can day by day, you know. Don't try to figure it out too much. The more I try to figure it out, the more I get confused. Well, all right, you guys. Listen, I'm going to get off here now and start uploading this. Literally, sweat dripping down. I'm going to get off here now and start uploading this vlog, so it will be up sometime tonight. And I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Sunday and that you guys are getting refreshed, renewed, rejuvenated, and relaxed for the week ahead. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Remember these 3 important things. 1, to... I always kind of forget, right, when I get into it. 1, that you can start your day over whenever you want. 2, to practice random acts of kindness, but don't tell anyone. And that's important, don't tell anyone. And 3, most importantly, make sure to reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. And I think there are a few of you out there that aren't doing that, okay? So that's going to be your goal for the week, is to reach out to someone every single day and just say, hey, I was thinking of you today. It can be on Facebook, it can be on text, it can be a neighbor, it can be whatever. And thank you guys for hanging out on the porch with me tonight. It was fun. And it was all over the place, wasn't it? And I love you guys. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. And for those that need to hear it, and those that want to hear it, and those that just happen to stick around, one more, I love you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. Happy birthday, Lena.